What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some major news in relation to CM Punk signing with AEW. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Now let's hit the intro and get straight into our massive story. Now, this week has been one of the most newsworthy weeks in pro wrestling history. It all started with the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, which saw the return of the legendary John Cena to a WWE ring. Cena made his grand return to the WWE to begin an anticipated feud with the Universal Champion Roman Reigns. Then over the next few days, a number of major news stories surfaced in relation to AEW signing some of the biggest names in pro wrestling. The first of these names was supposedly Daniel Bryan, as it was reported that Bryan had signed a major contract with Tony Khan's promotion. Bryan has spent the past decade in the WWE, so it came as a huge shock to fans that Bryan would sign anywhere other than WWE. However, it was reported that Bryan wanted to work dates in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and his new potential WWE deal wouldn't allow this. With New Japan Pro Wrestling and AEW having an established working relationship, it's rather likely that Bryan will be able to work in both promotions. But as well as Bryan signing with AEW, it's been revealed over the past few days that former WWE champion CM Punk is also AEW bound. CM Punk stepped away from pro wrestling in 2004, and he admitted he simply fell out of love for the sport of pro wrestling, and his last official match for the WWE was at the 2014 Royal Rumble, a match which he suffered an unfortunate concussion in. Following a vicious legal battle between Punk and a WWE doctor and a number of shots back and forth, it appeared that the relationship between Punk and WWE was damaged forever. However, when Punk was revealed as a panelist for the WWE Backstage show in 2019, fans were led to believe that the relationship had somewhat been repaired. Additionally, when Triple H and Stephanie McMahon have been asked about a potential Punk return, they've never ruled it out. They've only openly dismissed the idea of him returning to the WWE. However, following the reports released this week, it looks like Punk won't be appearing in a WWE ring in the near future. The first report of Punk potentially returning to the squared circle surfaced a few days ago, as Sean Ross Sapp from Fightful.com published a report which indicates that Punk was looking for a return to the ring, but didn't comment on what promotion this would be for. Then more information was reported from Dave Meltzer from the Wrestling Observer, who stated that it was likely that Punk would be AEW bound. Now on Friday, July 23rd, Ringside News published an exclusive report revealing that Punk signed his AEW contract that same morning and that everything was ready to go ahead. Ringside News didn't comment on when Punk would debut, but it's led to believe that AEW would like to have him debut around September, and the 2021 All Out pay-per-view would be a perfect place for Punk to debut. Ringside News will go into more details surrounding Punk signing for AEW. In the report they stated, a source has confirmed that Punk signed on this morning. Obviously, there's a lot of excitement over this deal. It was not confirmed when he will debut, but we were told Punk will be on television nearly every week. We're not informed how often CM Punk will wrestle. The 42-year-old might have a bit of ring rust on him, but we're also uncertain about his training regimen right now. It's also been reported that Punk will have full creative control over his booking and his character in AEW. This is something that he notoriously didn't have in WWE. Punk's contract looks to be similar to that of Bryan's in the sense of creative control and the ability to have full autonomy over their booking. In relation to this element in Punk's contract, Ringside News revealed he will also have a deal similar to Bryan Danielson, where he has say on his own character. CM Punk is able to tell the stories he wants in All Elite Wrestling. With Punk's AEW debut now in the works, it's truly an exciting time to be a wrestling fan. With AEW adding Punk as well as Bryan to their rosters, they have a roster that is finally able to compete with WWE at a major level. Punk signing with AEW also opens the door for a number of dream matches that fans never thought were possible. These include the likes of Punk vs Omega, Punk vs Hangman Adam Page, and Punk vs Pentagon Jr. Who would you guys like to see Punk face in All Elite Wrestling? How shocked are you that he's actually signed with the promotion? Be sure to let us know in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.